And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome Gabrielle St. George all the way live from Canada tonight, here to tell us about her brand new book, How to Murder a Marriage. I'm intrigued, and I know you are too. Gabrielle, welcome to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this book.
Hey, Sarah, thank you for having me. I am thrilled to be here. This is my first novel. It's the first in a series. It's 3 books contracted, but everyone's hoping and the publisher's hoping it'll continue. And it's really about a woman who is about to turn 50, divorced, recently empty nester, and she sells up her home that she's been in for decades, her dream house in near the city, which is Toronto and in Canada, and sells off everything and moves north and just pushes the reset button on starting a whole new life solo. She happens to be a relationship advice expert, calls herself the Ex Whisperer, and she has best-selling relationship advice guides, which I wrote 3 of so far, and the publisher has published them. They just came out a couple of days ago, written by her, the Ex Whisperer, the main character in the mystery novel.
Oh my God, I love it. That's so fabulous. Well, I can't wait to get into this because there's so much to talk about. But first, I just want to welcome all of our mystery and thriller loving fans who are watching with us on Facebook, on YouTube, my channels, Murder by the Book channels, wherever you're watching from. You are in the right place at the right time. Let's get into it. So if you've been here before, you know the drill. And if you're new, oh my goodness, welcome. We're so happy to have you. Here's the drill. Every Monday for hashtag Mystery Monday, because you know Mondays can be murder, I give you my 2 hand-picked featured authors, and you get to ask them anything. So ask Gabrielle about her protagonist, her sexy protagonist. Ask her about this Ex Whisperer. Ask her about her writing process. Anything you'd like to know, get them going in the comments, and I will get them right over to her. George Beach joining us live from Texas, saying Canada, eh? Good evening. I love it. George, welcome. Thanks as always for tuning in. Always a pleasure to have you here, sir. Gabrielle, let's get right into your book. So the first thing I noticed is that this character is a bit older than most sexy female lead characters. As you said, she's turning 50, but she is not at home baking cookies and knitting. She's lusting after her contractor. She's writing an advice column. She's out in the world. She's living her life. She is a vibrant woman. Tell us about what made you want to write a woman of a certain age.
You know, it's hard to find them. In cozy mysteries, there's loads of older female protagonists, and like you say, it's cozy, so there's no profanities. Women don't swear, they don't drink, they don't have sex. I love a cozy. I do. I love it. I also love hard-boiled detective fiction. The females in that are mostly, well, if they're not femme fatales, if they're like Sue Grafton's Kinsey Mahone, then they're still hard-hitting females, but they're usually frozen in time. They don't age. They'll stay, that few years. Even Sue Grafton's novels, the whole alphabet, and it was all take place in the 80s kind of thing. So it's hard to find, even on television or feature films. And then, of course, we can find middle-aged women in standalone thrillers and thriller movies, but they're often our unreliable narrators, or they're not real in that way. And sometimes we do want something a little more kindred. Sometimes we want to feel that we can really relate to the character. My novel is a humorous mystery. There's a lot of comedy in it, and a lot of it is the character, Gina, poking fun at herself. She's kind of warts and all. What a lot of people have really said they enjoy about her is that she's just so honest. And I'm all about that. And I think we're really all about that now. Unless, we're flat earthers going down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, we can pretty much recognize fakery. I mean, I think social media has taught us that. You know, when we see someone with the selfie on the private jet, you know, we know 9 times out of 10, they pay $100 to sit in there for a minute, right, and take a picture. So I think when we do, you know, you and I were talking about Paulina Porizakova, when there is someone online who is really honest, and you know that word authentic is overused, but I think it's overused for a good reason. Like we're all there for it. We want to see ourselves. We want to be able really to connect and relate. And that's what I tried to do with the character in the book. She's just real. I mean, it's better than life because it's fiction, but she's just really honest and raw. And I think that's what a lot of people are enjoying and connecting with.
I love that. I love that. And I totally agree. So for those who aren't already following Paulina Porizakova, I'm popping the link to her Instagram on the in the comments. So she is, I think she's 54 or 56, and she's talking a lot about the erasure of women in their 50s. She said you either go from hot J-Lo or other women who have had a lot of work done, hashtag no judgment, but just they are, you know, maintaining that youth. You go straight from there to Betty White. There's nobody out there who is showing their age, who's showing their wrinkles, showing their crow's feet, showing gray hair. And she talks a lot about that. And she is fascinating. She is fabulous. And Gabrielle, I think your hair is dragging on your mic a little bit, so it's just giving us some static. So if you just pull your hair back, yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Leslie saying hello. That's her signature Canadian hello. Leslie, welcome to the conversation. Hosting your fellow Canadian here north of Toronto, Gabrielle St. George. Yes, exactly. You can do that Canadian hello for real, Gabrielle.
Yeah, and I think the other gentleman was like Canada, eh? That's how we spell A-E-H, Canada, eh? How you doing, eh? You're going to the store, eh? You put the A at the end of everything. Yeah.
I did not know that. Thank you. I said,
yeah,
Canada,
it's A.
Leslie saying hello again. Leslie, welcome to the conversation. Top community member there, mystery and thriller maven. Delightful to have you. Melissa Watson joining us from Australia. All right, we got 3 countries in the house so far. We got Canada, we got the US, we got Australia. Where else y'all watching from? Let us know in the comments. All right, so let's get into it, Gabrielle. So you said,
Sarah, can I just interrupt you? When you're saying, like, and Paulina says it, like the J-Lo, nothing between J-Lo and Betty White. Yeah. I gotta say, when J-Lo last year or the year before, when she did I guess last year we did the stripper pole thing at the Super Bowl, and then if I see one more meme saying this is 50, like, no. This is not even 40. It's not even 30 for most people. Like that alone is so much pressure, right? This is 50. Oh my God. Then like there's so many 30-year-olds who can't look like that, right? That is millions of dollars in maintenance and upkeep and more, right? So there's just so much pressure coming from all the wrong places. I don't know on Instagram if you see, like, well, you're not there yet, but I started growing my silver hair out 6 months ago. But Silver Sisters, like the hashtag Silver Sisters, it's literally, I mean, there's millions of them, and it's growing like you wouldn't believe. Like I see one of them will start an account, and 2 months later they've got 50,000 followers, and it's crazy. And they're just showing their hair growing out, but they're so supportive and empowered. It literally reminds me of when I was a kid, the bra burning that went on in the 60s. It's that kind of level of rebellion. And it's like when men have gray hair, they're called silver foxes. And when women let their hair go gray, they're letting themselves go and they look old. The trolls that attack these women on the regular are like, I feel so sorry for your husband, and you look so old. It's just like awful, but they really band together and they're just like, no, our silver hair is beautiful and we don't care what you think and we're not asking for your opinion. And again, it's that authentic, this is really me. And they all kind of say, like, they thought they were just growing their hair out, but it literally transformed their perspective on themselves and the world. So there's all this, like, great middle-aged stuff, but it's not J-Lo, right? It's not J-Lo.
Exactly, exactly. Kathy, welcome to the conversation. He's saying Silver Revolution is one of the best Facebook groups out there. Kathy, thanks for the
Oh.
hot tip. All right, y'all, Silver Revolution's where it's at. Welcome back, Kathy. So great to have you. Kathy tuning in for her third interview today. Kathy, thank you for being here. So great to have you. Carla Hall saying, Gigi, you look great. Hearts up, thumbs up, getting tons of hearts on Facebook. Tina saying hello from Catskills, New York. Tina, welcome to the conversation. Always a pleasure to have you as well. Every time I hear the Catskills, I think of Dirty Dancing. I mean, that's the only association I have with the Catskills. So I'm already thinking of Johnny Castle and Baby tearing up the dance floor.
Tina's a fabulous author herself. Tina's
Tina
an
is
amazing,
a
yeah.
fabulous author. Great to have you here, Tina. Thank you so much. So, Gabrielle, let's talk about this extra, fabulous. Welcome, Charlotte. Welcome, Audrey. Thanks so much for being here. Let's talk about your protagonist. So she lusts after her construction guy. She schedules sex. She writes an ex whisperer column, which you yourself just came out with yesterday. You shared. Tell us more about all of this.
So,
Tina
I mean,
Pennington.
yeah, she has a potty mouth. She is, I mean, the whole like falling for her hot contractor, but, you know, has been single for a number of years. And I'm just working on the first draft madly. I have like a couple weeks left of the second book now. And I'm just writing the awkward, horribly awkward sex scenes because it is like, it's, if you've been out of it for years, probably it doesn't matter how old you are, but it's just that paint, cringe worthy stuff. But that's kind of what we want to read. You know, we want to, a lot of us have been there or are there. But anyway, yeah, she's irreverent. She's honest. She has had a lot of crap go on in her relationship. So she's, I would say, not very successful at them. But she's a relationship expert. But I adhere to that old saying, we teach best what we most need to learn. So I'm going to go with that for Gina. And she has 4 kids who live overseas. They're grown. So that's another angle. The kids are growing, you know, so then she has great relationships with them, but they're abroad.
And yet you also have 4 grown children, some of whom live abroad, Gabrielle. Are we seeing truth mirroring fiction here, or fiction mirroring truth? How much of this protagonist is you, ma'am?
It's pretty autobiographical, but not enough. Like, there's enough fiction there to keep me out of court. But I say that that Gina, the character, is a version of me. My kids say she is me. So the jury's out, but they might be right, but I won't admit to that.
I love it. Now, Gabrielle, you kicked us off by saying that this is the first in a 3-book deal. So for those of us who don't know what that means, give us the skinny on what the 3-book deal means.
So far, 3 books in this series, and How to Murder a Marriage is book 1 that just came out a couple of days ago. And then this July, so we're not even waiting a whole year, book 2, which is what I'm working on right now, How to Kill a Kingpin, comes out. And also a couple of days ago, the first 3 gal guides came out. That's the relationship advice books written by the main character, Gina, who's the ex-whisperer. And then in July, book 2 in the mystery comes out with book 4 in the gal guides simultaneously. And then the next July, book 3 in the mystery, which is How to Bury a Billionaire, and book 5 in the gal guides. And in the meantime, also super exciting, I've had a couple of production companies in LA approach me already about turning it into a series. So these things are always a long shot. And even if it gets optioned, you know, it's always low chances it'll go through, but that's fun. So it would be nice because there's not a lot of entertainment on television, even the streaming channels for, you know, women in their 50s and older who, you know, it reflect where the characters reflect them and where they're at and what they're doing. So that would be awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, if we when not if when we see you when we see How to Murder a Marriage on screen, we'll remember that we knew you when, Gabrielle. So
Oh.
y'all get your questions in now, because I have a feeling Gabrielle's about to blow up. Tina saying congrats to Gabrielle St. George on all of this great news. Yes, you're getting so many hearts up on Facebook. Thank you so much, Tina. And thank you to everyone who is watching. Welcome to the conversation. Audrey, so great to have you. And Allison, thanks for joining us. So Gabrielle, Hollywood is not the only one who is loving this book. Publishers Weekly raving, clever Gina is bound to win the hearts of readers who will look forward to her further adventure. Fantastic review there from Publishers Weekly. How do you write a character that that wins people's hearts? Do you think? What's the secret of that?
We're going to repeat myself. I think it's that she's just so honest, like that real and not just self-deprecating in not about modesty, but just really just the rawness. And like what we were saying in the beginning about Polina Perzakova, that she really just peels the skin back and everyone relates to that. And I think that's what the character does. It's warts and all, but mostly warts, I would say.
So warts and all, she peels the skin back, and that resonates. I love that, because I think there is, one thing I've noticed is that as we continue to get a more and more filtered reality, with people literally using filters on social media, on everything, people are craving deep realness. We want to see the cellulite. We want to see the
Yeah.
warts. We want to see the wrinkles. Carla sharing the mailman just dropped off her copy. Carla, what fabulous timing. We will look forward to hearing your thoughts about the book. So dive right in and be sure to report back. For everyone who's watching, if you love mysteries and thrillers, be sure to join our free Facebook group, Mystery and Thriller Mavens, to continue the conversation. We nerd out about books. We chat about books. You can enter to win books. You can request authors. You can submit questions in advance. Lots of fun going on there. Free and open to all. I plopped the link in the comments, so grab it and join us. Samantha Bailey also gave you a rave review. Gabrielle saying, I'm going to pop this up briefly because it's a big one. We may not be able to see you over it. Saying that fun, clever, suspenseful, How to Murder a Marriage is a feel-good mystery featuring a protagonist I instantly wanted to be friends with. When she finds herself the target of not one, but two potential stalkers, plus a possible missing woman, Gina and her hilarious, loving crew of family and friends set out to protect her and catch the criminals. Fabulous review from the amazing Samantha Bailey there. Yay! Tina saying she just joined Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tina, welcome. So happy to have you. Thank you so much.
I gotta say, Tina was an Agatha Award nominee, best first novel. Yeah.
Goodness, yep. Tina, congratulations. What an incredibly high honor. Yeah. I have a feeling those hearts that I'm seeing are for you. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so honored to have you. Gabrielle, what do you think is in terms of writing this character? So she dishes out advice. I don't want to give any spoilers out, but she dishes out advice. She advises Tina saying, thank you so much. Tina, honestly, a pleasure to have you. Thank you. She dishes out advice. She suggests a woman leave her marriage, and soon enough, that woman turns up missing. That's not a good look for the advice columnist. What made you think of that? That's a crazy cool idea.
I actually don't know. My background is screenwriting. I'm a screenwriter, and so as a screenwriter, it's all about plotting, outlining, and I actually had a super detailed plot. And then when I wrote the book, it just kind of went down the toilet. I don't even know what happened, which was super uncomfortable for me. And that angle wasn't even in my outline, my original outline. And I hear about, writers when they say that the characters came to life and they leapt off the page and they directed the story, and I'm so uncomfortable with that. But it is what happened, and now I'm writing this second book, and I'm just like literally the stenographer typing. I'm just doing what these characters are telling me to do, which is not in my lane. It's not my jam. It's not good. I think it's just, it feels like spaghetti, you know. But hopefully it worked out with the first one. And yeah, so I can't even say it, just, I don't think it was my idea. The characters came up with that.
When you say it felt like spaghetti, what do you mean by that?
Oh, I mean, like right now, because my outline is going out the window and other stuff is happening just spontaneously, I feel like I don't have that nice grid, and it's all just a tangled mess. But you know, you're a writer too, sometimes when you're really inside it, outline or not, you know, pantser or plotter, when you're really in the middle of it, it's hard to get above and look, and that's kind of where I'm at now. Just keep me up at night.
You mean spaghetti arms, like just floppy, not having. I'm
Just
going
like
back
a
to
tangled
Dirty
mess.
Dancing.
I like scene 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, with the beats in the scene. Yeah.
I love it. What do you mean beats in the scene?
Oh, well, in screenwriting, in every scene has certain dramatic beats. So, you know, the scene might be Harry and Sally at the restaurant, and the beat might be, you know, they have a discussion, they kind of get in an argument, she fakes an orgasm out loud, and you know, that kind of thing. Beats in the scene.
I love it. Okay, cool. I'm learning a lot tonight. All right. Welcome to the conversation. Everybody, if I have missed your comment, just scrolling back, making sure. Hey, Patricia, welcome to the conversation. Always a pleasure to have you. So Gabrielle, how does this, so you're saying you used to sort of poo-poo people who said that they heard the voices of the characters, the story led them. You were like, yeah, okay, right. Now you're one of those people.
Yeah.
So how has screenwriting both helped you, and also has it been wildly different?
I mean, it's wildly different. It's really like speaking two different languages. And screenwriting is easier to me than novel writing. It's shorter, and even when it comes to reading, I prefer, my book is pretty short, and I like short books to read, and I like short scenes and all that. So it's even challenging for me to do like the 85,000 words. It seems like that's a lot. But they're super different. I mean, in screenwriting, you can't write anything that won't show up on the screen. Anything you put in a script has to be filmable. So unless you're doing like, you know, animation mixed in or something, you can't write what someone's thinking. You don't get to put that on the page. So I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy in novel writing, and why I wrote my mystery from the first person's point of view. So Gina is the narrator speaking, because I get to spend so much time in her head and write about that, which you can't do in screenwriting. So that's a big difference, and I've really enjoyed that a lot.
Ooh, so you can go really into what she's feeling, what her mental processing is, getting into that deep, sort of delicious dissecting of things. That's what I love.
With her,
I love that.
just a lot of the screwed up shit too. You know? Yeah.
I love it. Another rave coming in from Annette Dashavy, the USA Today bestselling author of the Zoe Chambers mystery. She deems How to Murder a Marriage a fun, whimsical, laugh out loud ride. She said Gina Malone is one part Stephanie Plum and one part Dear Sugar. Dear Sugar, of course, being Cheryl Strayed, dishing up truth and truth bombs by the paragraph. She said this is the kind of character you just can't get enough of. She absolutely loved it. Really great to see that review coming in there. And she is not the only one. Kathy Ace raving that Gabrielle St. George brings a fresh voice to Canadian crime writing, which is simultaneously chipper yet chilling as she introduces us to characters who are simultaneously engaging yet alarming. A perfect combination for a writer of psychologically suspenseful stories, which are also fun to read. Let's talk about how you managed to write a book that is chipper yet chilling. How do you find that balance?
I think this comes down to I described the book as a soft-boiled mystery, and I even did an interview yesterday in Australia from Australia, and the interviewer said, "I've never heard that term, and I don't know what it is." And it's not a very common term, but it really needs to be. And it's soft-boiled, in my opinion, is right between cozy and hard-boiled. So that's what I'm saying, that cozy is the characters, and I love both. I love cozy and I love hard-boiled, but I don't want to write them. Well, I wouldn't mind writing hard-boiled, but I don't want to write them right now. And I want to read soft-boiled. So the soft-boiled is a mixture of both. So it doesn't maybe have as much gore or violence or whatever as the hard-boiled would have. But it also, the characters do more real stuff, as in, the cozies that have the limits of where there's no profanity, no violence on the page and stuff like that. And I think that's what it is. It's soft-boiled. And actually I've had a lot of people have loved it, but there's been some criticism. I've read some reviews, not from like the trades or anything, but just like individual, people who posted on NetGalley. A few of them have said, I don't think the book knew what it was, or I didn't know. Was it a soft-boiled? Or no, they didn't use that word. Was it a cozy, or was it a thriller? And I didn't know what it was. And I think that's okay, because this is a genre that needs to have its day now. And it's not new. So we could say it needs a renaissance, but it needs to have its day. It's important because this is where real women can live in a mystery novel, in a mystery series. They can live in the soft-boiled lane, but there's very few of them.
I like that. And it's interesting to note, as a yoga teacher, I always think about the Buddhist non-judgmental, compassionate observation, right? Like, can we step back and watch what we're doing through a lens of compassion? So it's interesting to step back and note our need to put a label on things, our need for things to stay in their lane, whether it's how a woman should look at the age of 50, whether it's how a woman should behave at the age of 60, whether it's what a thriller should be, whether it's why do we need to have these strict definitions, is a question one might pose to oneself when trying to cram something in a lane.
Yeah, that's true. I wondered when I read this, there was only a couple of reviews, and actually one was from a man, and I wondered why I was reading the book anyway, because it's really, really a book for females. But I was like, why does it matter if you can't say it's a cozy or a thriller? Like, isn't that just kind of cool that it's got a few elements going on? But yeah, for some people that obviously did that. A couple of people, it didn't sit with them.
Interesting. Dennis, welcome to the conversation. Great to have you. Also very cool to see, Gabrielle, you are also the author of the nonfiction Gal Guide series, How to Say So Long to Mr. Wrong, How to Know If He's Having an Affair, and How to Survive the Love You Hate to Love. What is your interest in the deep specificities of relationships? What do you find fascinating?
So these are the books written by the main character in the mystery. The Gina writes these. She's the ex-whisperer. And I don't know, in an article I just wrote, I said that, Malcolm Gladwell says that if we spend 10,000 hours doing anything it makes us an expert at that thing. So I'm an expert at bad relationships, I got to say.
We lost her. I'm sure she will be right back. You know what? Sometimes the internet just craps out. This is life during the pandemic / life at all. She's back. Hooray.
No, I'm sorry. I'm on a farm way up north in the middle of nowhere. And it's just like, I'm just like, want to put like salt circles and everything around this, like make it last. We're almost good.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Rick Hall saying, congratulations, Aunt Gigi. Yay! We have family in the house. Welcome. Tina saying, well, I agree. Why does it matter what book a genre is in? She said, I've always wondered why there is such an obsession to have our books fit neatly into these labels. Indeed. And I think we're getting into a deeper conversation where, again, we want to fit people into labels. She's this kind of author. She is an author. She is this, she is that. Or he is this, he is that. Very fascinating conversation here. Kathy saying, even in Dallas, Fort Worth, we lose our links. We'll just wait around for you. Yay, Kathy, thank you. And yes, we are waiting around for you. We have just 5 minutes left with Gabrielle. Time flies when you're having fun. So any last questions for Gabrielle about her screenwriting career, her writing career, this relationship advice dishing out character she's got, who's publishing books in her the Gal Guide series, which I think we were just talking about when you cut out. Do you think your farm is haunted, Gabrielle, or is it just a weak Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it's probably a combination. We're in an old farmhouse that is coming down. My partner's a builder and it's coming down, but yeah, it can be pretty creepy. It can be, we just moved in a few months ago. And in the first night here, I heard something upstairs and I thought my dog had gone up there, which would be weird. And it was the movers hadn't even come, but there's just a mattress on the floor. And I went up to check. How brave I was. I went up to check and heard all the scratching. And I was calling the dog, and it wasn't the dog. She wasn't up there. And I just ran down the stairs, terrified, and got under the blankets. Turned out to be like rats. They're gone now. But yeah, but anyway, in my brain, that was my first night here. So yes, it's haunted.
So I'm not sure what is more terrifying, a ghost or
I don't
rats.
know. And I didn't know which I preferred it would be. I'm still not sure.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to put it out to the audience. Would you rather have a nest of rats or a resident ghost? Let's hear it in the comments. I think I'd rather have a ghost, but I'm not sure. I hosted an author recently who told me that her neighbor's house is haunted for real. Actually, books fly off the shelf.
Wow.
And if you acknowledge them, if you get annoyed by it, they fly harder and longer. So it's best to just pretend they're not and go with it. Kathy saying she wants neither. Kathy, that would be ideal to have neither a ghost nor rats. Exactly. I am agreeing with you. Welcome, Becky. Welcome, Julia. Great to have you all here. George is on my team. He says ghost. I think so, right? One of my neighbors just told me they have a ghost as well. That thankfully they're 2 blocks over. Tina saying ghosts have so much more potential. We can always write about them or with them. That's true. That's rat's true. Not going to give you a lot that material, but a ghost, you could get a lot of material out that.
I just watched on Netflix though the Stephen King novella. That called 1922?
No,
it's the numerals, just 1922. And speaking of rats, just watch Stephen King's 1922. That's all I got to say, people. No spoilers here. Guess what? Out. It's ghosts and rats. It's the combo. That's what it's about, ghosts and rats.
And DiVello's out. DiVello is out. George saying he'd like to learn to be one. Okay, George, if you come back, please be a friendly one. Kathy saying she could come up with some good stories about the rats. Okay, we can have team rat. We can have team ghost. Oh my goodness. This has been such a fun and unexpected conversation. And I want to remind you all that you can grab your copy of How to Murder a Marriage tonight or anytime through Murder by the Book and support a woman-owned independent bookstore, one of the 3 dedicated mystery and thriller bookstores in the country, which is so cool. And they are, of course, based in Houston, Texas, but they ship everywhere. So grab your copy of How to Murder a Marriage. I'm putting the link in the comments once again, so that you too can be reading the fabulous adventures in this book. Rick saying it's been all over. George saying his father-in-law is still around the house. We smell his cigarette smoke now and then. Okay. I'm gonna have to bring that bottle of salt you're talking about, Gabrielle, to George's house. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so guys, grab your copy of How to Murder a Marriage. Right here is the link, and the good folks at How to Murder by the Book will ship it out to you. Gabrielle, Amy, welcome to the conversation. Great to have you. Gabrielle, I want to thank you so much for joining us from your beautiful farm, which Gabrielle was sharing that has northern lights, has aurora borealis every night for 8 months a year.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah.
Oh, gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I really want to see aurora borealis. I haven't yet had the opportunity. George saying, thank you so much, Gabrielle and Sara, for a very fun night. George, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. Y'all, I will see you next Monday next Monday I'm off. Next Monday I'm off. It's Thanksgiving week here in the US. So next Monday, have a safe, happy holiday with your friends and family. And I will see you in 2 weeks. There's no Mystery and Thriller Mavens next week. I will see you in 2 weeks. Tina saying, fabulous, dynamic event, Gabrielle. Great hosting, Sara. Tina, high praise. Thank you, ma'am. Kathy saying, this was so fun. Thank you. Kathy, thank you for joining us. And thank you for joining me for all 3 interviews today. You're amazing. And I so appreciate your presence. And we've had such juicy conversations with each one of our guests. All right, y'all, have a wonderful, safe, happy Thanksgiving. And I will see you in 2 weeks with Haley Krishner and Wanda Morris. And then we'll be in December. Where's the time going? Have a wonderful night, and I will see you all soon. Take care. And
thank you,
again,
everyone.
Gabrielle.
Thank you for hopping on, and thank you, Sara. It was a joy. Really appreciate it. Take care, everyone.
Yay.
Bye-bye.